Hiya! We're Two Limes and a Lemon podcast, and this is a podcast about us and watching movies. And for the next 3 episodes, watching Elijah Wood movies in chronological order, which this week focuses on a Disney-fied version of what some consider the great American novel. It's mainly the truth. Oh, sure, there's a few stretchers here and there, but I never did meet anybody who didn't lie a little when the situation suited them. So kick off your shoes if you're wearing them, and get ready for a spit-licking good time as we discuss 1993's The Adventures of Huck Finn.
Are we having theme music? Like, how do we... Is it just start with us talking?
Yeah, Dave's gonna do us some, like, a jingle, I think.
Dave.
Nah.
Danielle.
Two limes and a lemon.
Hi, and welcome to this week's Two Limes and a Lemon podcast. We are still in the woods with our series of Into the Woods films. And this week we're going to talk about 1993's The Adventures of Huck Finn. Before we get into that, though, let's do what we always do and go through and see what everybody's been consuming for the week. Just as a level set, that is something that each person has been doing over the week, media, books, movies, what have you, whatever's really grabbed their attention for the week. So let's start off with Dave. Dave, what's been consuming you?
Well, first off, thanks for introducing me to the podcast, Danielle. Just because we're not from the Mississippi River.
She missed her turning, all right, to
She missed
introduce us.
Yeah, it's true. She missed it by 40 miles at night time. What have I watched the film Hoppers the other week, and it was actually good. It's about it's a Disney Pixar film where, in order to save the dam or the river that this girl has lots of emotional backstory to, they have to introduce a beaver back into the dam so that people can't build on it. So she enters a robot body of a beaver and has to try and convince the other beavers to come back to the pond. And there's like an evil butterfly that wants to get rid of humans because it's sick of being like seen as the small pathetic butterfly, and he wants to try and take over the world. So it's a pretty wacky film. Like, the first half is all about saving nature, and the second bit is like evil butterfly in like human robot body trying to murder everyone. So it's quite a different pacing of movie.
And also,
we enjoyed it.
Aren't they humans that have become animals somehow?
Yeah, so they've put their subconscious into robots of beavers or like other animals.
Oh my god, it's the Cell, but with beavers.
It is, yeah. But I went in going like, it's going to be all right. I don't think it's going to be that great, but I was pleasantly surprised. So
Do you still go into Disney films thinking, oh, it's going to be all right? Because I go in there thinking, this is going to be rubbish, and then I'm hopefully pleasantly surprised, but I usually go in on a downer.
Well, I do that for live action Disney films if I've ever watched them.
We watched one this
week.
It's
like a Pixar new. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but if it's like a remake, sorry. No, I'm still kind of like convinced the animation can still do all right. I'm kind.
Was there any song that's
right.
going to get like nominated? Was there like a You've Got a Friend in Me?
No singing. No, it was Pixar. They don't do the songs, do they?
Well, Toy Story
just do.
Pixar.
Yeah. You've Got a Friend in Me.
Yeah, but they don't. Yeah, but they're not singing it, are they? It's not like Tom Hanks is like,
no, but it was
got afraid of me.
It's still Oscar nominated.
Right? Yeah.
It was. Yeah, but like normally in Disney, it's like the characters are singing it, aren't they?
Background music doesn't exist for Dave.
Okay.
He only needs the characters singing it.
Yeah, if the characters don't sing it, it doesn't count.
Didn't happen.
So you don't acknowledge that You've Got a Friend in Me is a thing.
I'd say it's a song, but I wouldn't say it's a song that they sing.
Poor Randy.
Poor Randy Newman.
I don't know if he's dead, but
I don't think he is.
No, he's still going.
Okay. Well, he'll just be turning in his chair then.
It's going, short people got nobody.
So do you recommend for adults, do you think it's an adult-friendly film?
No, you would probably have to watch it with like a niece or a child. Just grab a child.
But didn't
or your mum. Or you can watch it with like an old, or like Nan. You can sit with Nan and watch it. It's not like sit with your mates and watch it. It's like watch it with in a family setting. That's a better answer. Watch it in a family setting.
So single weirdos do not watch Hoppers.
No,
Guess I'll never get to see it. unless I kidnap a kid.
Well, yeah.
Natalie, what have you been up to this week?
I watched the series Midwich Cuckoos, which is currently showing on Now TV. It's like an English show set in like a small little village in the English countryside where all of the residents go unconscious for like an evening, and then when they wake up, some of the women are pregnant, but obviously the pregnancies are spooky, mysterious. Maybe it's aliens, who knows? But it is aliens.
Did you say it was called Midwich Cookies?
Cuckoos.
I was expecting it like a cooking show or like a cozy mystery about people that bake.
Much more cozy. No. It's like because cuckoos put their babies in like other birds' nests. Yeah, so it's putting their babies in other women's bellies. But yeah, it was very good. It was like a mini series. It's got like 8 episodes, but it was quite entertaining. I would definitely say give it a watch, just like over a week or something.
That sounds very similar to an old movie and a less old movie. The less old movie had Kirstie Alley in it. It's escaping me the name right now, but there were a bunch of people that get pregnant at the same time, and they have these little like white-haired kids.
Village of the Damned.
Village of the Damned. Yes. So there's an older version of it, and there's a
wait a minute. 90s. Village of the Damned is probably it. It says in the English to Village of Midwich.
Oh, okay.
Is that the one with the kids?
Yes.
Yeah, but these kids weren't all blonde.
Did they have?
We watched that before. We thought it was really good, didn't we? The old Village of the Damned.
We watched Children of the Corn.
Oh,
is that the same thing or not?
No.
Children of the Corn was really good. We were oh my god, get out of there.
Yeah. So yeah, basically it looks like this is like the English version of Village of the Damned.
That sounds interesting.
I never put 2 and 2 together because they didn't have that blonde hair. Anyway, what have you been up to, Danielle?
Yesterday I went and saw a show, like a musical, of Water for Elephants. I had never read the book. I had never saw the movie. And so I went in with a very open attitude, and I enjoyed myself quite a bit. The music was okay, not super memorable by any means. I'm not going and listening to it on my own, but it had, because it was very circusy. There were acrobats, and they had these very interesting puppets for some of the animals, especially the elephant. So I think it's well worth a watch.
No real elephants.
No real elephants. No real elephants were harmed in the making of the production.
No Robert Pattinson or Reese Witherspoon, I'm assuming.
Neither of those. But very, very good performers I saw.
Was the elephants like cardboard, but they've put like things around it so it's got like the bend?
No, it was. They were really well done. So when you first see the elephant, it is 2 people standing like one on another's shoulders with the ears, and then it's a person with just the trunk. And I thought, okay, this is like very conceptual, interesting. And then you saw the shadow, and I thought, oh, that's how they're going to do it now, is just do the shadow, because it's this touring production. They can't do like a full elephant. And then the next time you see it, it's like 1 person per leg, and they're just like stomp, stomp, stomp. And then when the elephant finally...
Sandbags. Like in like those big sandbags. Just jumping up and
down. No. It was beautiful looking. Like it was fabric, sort of. Full body, kind of sized, holding legs things. And then whenever they finally figure out, I don't know if this is a spoiler for Water for Elephants in the book or the movie, but it comes midway through, is they realize that the elephant responds to Polish. And so when they realize that, the elephant becomes fully conceptualized, and they, like, all of the performers with the different parts of the elephant come together, and they've got like a baby elephant sized elephant puppet made up of like 5 or 6 people.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a cool concept.
Yeah.
To put together.
And they had,
like he's not whole until he's understood.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
And they had, like I said, there was like tons of acrobatics. That was, a lot of the times I would find myself like drawn away from who was singing to the people doing the tumbling and different moves on the side. And then also, they did a lot of aerial tricks, like with the silks coming from the ceiling kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
And so there's a horse that is sick and dies very early on. And so the head of the horse was a puppet and was controlled by a man in sort of a white unitard. And then as the horse was dying, the guy, and they were kind of like singing it a lullaby to rest it before it was going to die. He did like this aerial act next to it. So it was all very like dreamlike, and it was very Cirque du Soleil in concept. Which is why it's kind of like that the songs weren't super memorable. But, you know, seeing it as a show was a lot of fun, and I highly recommend I know it's touring in the US right now. If it comes to your town, it's one that's worth seeing. So with that, let's get to this week's film, which is the 1993 adaptation of Mark Twain's novel, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, known here as Huck Finn. This film did relatively well. It debuted at number 2 and grossed over $24 million and is currently at like 75% on Rotten Tomatoes, which I think will amaze the three of us who all had an interesting experience with this film.
That does surprise me.
Yeah. I'd like to take a sec just to give a mild disclaimer. Anyone who's familiar with The Adventures of Huck Finn will know there's a lot of delicate subject matter around race and slavery. And we're going to do our best we're not going to dwell on those things. We're probably not the most appropriate people to be giving our opinions on those subjects. But we're going to try and be as respectful as we can with what we do discuss around this. I don't think we can get away with not talking about those topics when talking about this story. This film in particular deals with rapscallion Huckleberry Finn, who's this little boy who's living with 2 widows and causing mayhem around the Missouri town he lives in. When his alcoholic, abusive father, Pap Finn, returns, Huck has no recourse other than to fake his own death to escape him. And this leads to a road trip, or rather a river trip, with an escaped slave, Jim, as they meet a variety of characters who are all these satirical, overblown Southern personalities that are kind of poking fun at individuals in the antebellum South. And eventually through this trip, Huck will finally figure out that slavery is a bad thing. But hopefully we've known that all along. Yeah, it's not so much about the end of the trip. It's the journey and the friends or enemies that we make along the way, I guess. This is currently available on Disney+, so if you haven't seen it before and you really want to watch it, you can stop here, go and watch it. I think all three of us are going to say, you don't really need to watch this one, but let's get into the discussion. You can decide for yourself.
This is like Dave's going to shock us and come out with like a 5 out of 5 limes at the end of it.
Yeah, I'm just be like, guys, you've completely missed the point of this film.
Yeah, it was the best film I've ever seen.
Elijah Wood, 5-star performance.
Has anyone read the book, out of curiosity?
I have. So
I have not, no.
This was a little bit of an interesting pre-show discussion we had. The book is one of the more frequently banned books in the United States, but it's also somewhat part of the curriculum. Mark Twain. Why do I keep calling him Tom Twain? Is it
because of Tom Sawyer?
Tom Sawyer. Mark Twain is very much part of our literature curriculum in the US, and I'm guessing you guys don't really cover that.
No, we
get we
had John
what's the one with the rabbits?
Yeah, okay. John Steinbeck, Mice and Men, that's one of our
Mice of Men, that's
GCSE sort of ones. So still American, but not Mark Twain.
I definitely had to read Tom Sawyer in school, and that in English class, and then I believe in history class we read Huck Finn.
Right.
So, okay. But it is, there's a lot of controversy behind it even back then, it's a film that takes place prior to the U.S. Civil War, written right after the Civil War. And so it's very much like examining the ideas of slavery. Some people consider it a racist novel. Some people consider it anti-racist. That's the reason, in part, why it's banned. But also, I think even more so is uses the N-word a lot. And it uses the N-word like as a descriptor, I feel like, for Jim in a lot of places. And actually, there are some editions of the book now that have been cleaned of that a little bit. But it's still fair. It's the 5th most challenged book in the United States, and so it's pretty widely banned. Yeah.
What's the most worst?
What's the first?
Apparently, in 2025, the most challenged book was A Clockwork Orange.
I've never seen that film either.
I know it's like,
I don't think I've got the
weirdo.
time
Like
to.
they murder people, right?
It's an interesting satire
idea.
on society, on violence, and what's acceptable and whatnot. I like it. It's done by Kubrick, so it's very visually interesting.
The film, yeah. Who wrote the book?
Anthony Burgess. It's hard to read. It's a hard to read book because it's all written in the dialect that they use in the film, or that the characters speak. And I found it. I think I tried to read it once. I gave up on it. I think another criticism of Adventures of Huckleberry Finn is some people consider the portrayal of Jim to be a little bit stupid or childlike. And something that kind of went to fix that part of the story is, I think 2 years ago, a writer named Percival Everett wrote a book named James that is this story, but from Jim's perspective. And so in the times that Huck is off having adventures with all the racists and things, and that Jim is once again been captured somewhere and is like the fear of having to go back to slavery, we see his point of view, which I think is pretty interesting, and probably a little more interesting than what we see of Huck's journey.
Yeah, he does go on a bit of a journey of like.
I mean, honestly, I feel like Huck doesn't really learn that much.
He learns that he wants to just not be tamed.
Yeah, no.
And looked after and being cared for. Being cared for by a loving family is not what I want. It's like, okay.
Is it Widow Douglas that's like really nice to him? Like, she is a bit naive, but she's super nice to him. She treats him like her own, and he just like is trying to avoid her at every turn, even though he could have such a nice life with her.
Nope, he just runs off into the sunset.
I hope he runs off that cliff, honestly, at the end. He's running towards.
Shoo him away.
So this film was made in 1993. I feel like they could have done a little bit more to paint these themes through a 1993 lens rather than giving us a straight adaptation of the 1884 novel. Like, he's still real ignorant about slavery and how bad it is, and we don't get any more agency from Jim. He's sort of just along for the ride.
There's like a certain line that he says, I can't remember at what point of the movie, but like he wants to do something and Jim's like, oh no, we can't. And then Huck's like, oh, you're so selfish. Like, you think about yourself.
There's a so they get that's a bit. So they get caught again by because they fall off the raft, the boat. They get not captured, but they get taken by that family in that mansion, and they kind of separate them. They bring Elijah Wood into the family so he can have a better upbringing, but then obviously Jim's got to go back to that slave life, and he says to like Huckleberry Finn, look, we need to get out of here, I can't, my family is waiting. Very serious stuff. And it's like, this guy's going back into a horrible life again. Huck Finn's just like, oh, you just think about yourself. What about me? I'm like, dude, oh my God.
Addiction, because that family are just offering the same thing that Widow Douglas is offering him, but he wants to go to that family.
Yeah, maybe because he has like a brother kind of character, or maybe they're a little richer. I don't know.
Oh, what, little Billy that ends up in the river face down.
Because they got family feuds, haven't they?
Yeah, like a Romeo and Juliet situation.
Hatfields and McCoys.
Like, was it 20-year feud or something? They don't even know why it started. And like, we're just going to shoot up each other.
I would say, though, this movie's a PG. Like, nowadays, this movie would be at least a 12A.
Yes.
The whole Pap Finn storyline and how he just wants to kind of kill Huck to get $600 is pretty dark.
Well, I mean, obviously he's got an abusive dad. There's the bit where he pretends that he's been murdered in the hut and he like smears blood all over it.
Well, he shoots a boar first and then he smears blood all over it.
And like when it was doing this, I was like, what age is this movie?
So here's where I think they get away with it, right? So I'm in the same agreement with you. I feel like the themes that it's carrying are very heavy for a Disney film as well. But because the music, it's so lighthearted, like his drunk, abusive father is trying to literally murder this child, and it's shot like a wide shot, like all we're watching, he's running around the table. It's kind of like very slapstick, and the music's all like and it's like, okay, I don't know, are you trying to sort of lower the tone so it doesn't come across as threatening? I don't know what's happening here, but yeah, all those harder themes, the soundtrack was just overcompensating what was going on to make it feel a bit lighthearted. Obviously when it was a sad moment, it was like, here's the sad strings, and it was all like times 10 to sort of bring it to that Disney vibe. I don't know.
When I was younger, I think it was my Jumanji VHS, like original Robin Williams Jumanji. I'm sure it had a trailer for this on it. It is nothing like the trailer that I remember is nothing like this movie. Like the clips that they picked for that trailer are like the clips of like him dressing up as a girl in that woman's house and being all like putting on a really southern girly accent, and like him just being like, oh, you're the best friend I ever had. Like it was made out to be like, obviously I didn't know the story of Huck Finn when I was that age, but it was like such a different tone, the trailer.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I think I watched the trailer in prep for it, and I thought the exact same thing.
It was the same with that, what's that flying film with the plane?
Oh, Radio Flyer. Yeah.
Like Radio Flyer, it's done the same thing again. I thought it was going to be about something else.
Who would have thought the darkest films we've covered for this have all been through these Elijah Wood films?
Yeah.
That's true. They've all been quite deep, but just done in different ways.
But back to the music. The music reminded me of something you would hear walking through Disneyland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
It really felt like it was through the whole film is through the Disney ringer. And like the performances, the Pap Finn reminds me of the villains in Pete's Dragon. Kind of like,
yes. Yeah.
White trash kind of, but in like a weird comical way. And then
I mean, Paul Ron Perlman, he always plays the baddie, doesn't he?
Does it so well though.
I know, like from Fluke to here.
It's like one of those dog films, like when it's an animal pet film and all the villains are over the top.
Yeah.
They're like that. Every character, every villain in this film is like, I've got to chase the Dalmatians, and oh, I've got to go get the golden retriever or something.
I loved his like leg, that he's got like this metal brace on his leg that like squeaks. And then that's like like later on in the movie, spoilers, Jim finds him and he's like dead, but you hear the squeak of his leg kind of swing out first.
He finds him with this shot in his head, which was also like fairly dark for this kid's film.
Yeah.
And the fact that Elijah's character smokes a pipe throughout.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like a child with a little pipe.
They would never allow that nowadays.
No.
So yeah, the film starts with him like beating up another kid.
Yeah.
So it's like
apparently we're supposed
so many things.
We're just supposed to believe Tom Sawyer is in that scene, but they never really point out who he is. We touched upon this. I wanted to go to the scene where Huck Finn is pretending to be a girl, which I thought was like the woman was the dumbest. Like I couldn't figure out.
You've seen American Horror Story, right?
That is Frances Conroy,
her, right?
Yeah,
I just think that when I saw her,
she was also in 6 Feet Under. There's a bunch of very talented actors and actresses in this. Anne Heche made her.
Yeah, like Robbie Coltrane.
Yeah, yes, Robbie
Coltrane.
Robbie Coltrane and Jason Robards. Sorry. And Courtney B. Vance is also very successful now. Anne Heche made her debut in this film, as did Laura Bell Bundy. Those were the two sisters in the last place that they visit.
Yeah, the last house. Yeah.
Mary Jane.
What I would say in that scene where he's pretending to be a girl is another thing they probably wouldn't get like away with now is when he throws the whatever he throws at the rat. she's like, if you were a real girl, you'd have missed it by 6 or 7 feet. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Shots fired.
But also,
Disney are making a mark in this film on what they think is appropriate.
she's also not bothered by the fact that he's got a black eye.
I was kind of, throughout this movie, just annoyed at Huck Finn, because I was like, as soon as he found out that Jim was, like, on wanted posters and he was meant to have murdered him, I was like, at that point, would you not have gone back and concocted, like, he's always lying throughout the film. I was like, you could have concocted any story to say, like, Jim saved me from my abusive father, because the widow, like, the 2 women at the start had seen how abusive his dad had been towards him. So he could have easily gone to them and been like, he saved me from my dad, like, he didn't run away, so, like, there's no need for you to, like, have all these wanted posts. Like, he could have concocted something.
As soon as he finds Jim, he finds out Pap has run off, gone away again. So he could clear up the whole fact that he's not dead, which even if Jim stayed on the run, then it would at least just be on the run and not also a murderer. Then at the stage where they get on this random boat with these random pirates, and then they find dead Pap with the hole in his head, Jim could have said, you can go back now. Your dad's dead. Like, you don't need to fear your dad coming back into the picture again. So there was like a lot of, this could have been cleared up a lot earlier in the film. I guess then we wouldn't have the quote unquote adventures that ensue.
Like, it's kind of like that whole Indiana Jones thing where people say, like, if Indiana Jones hadn't been in any of these stories, then nothing would have changed. The same could be said for this. If Jim hadn't escaped, he would have been set free when the widow died, and Elijah Wood's dad would have died and not come back and bothered him. So the adventure actually in the end meant nothing.
And like, he didn't learn anything.
And then Huck didn't learn anything.
He just still run away.
He barely learned anything. Let's be clear. Like, he learned slavery is bad. That is the extent of what he learned. He's still gonna lie all the time. He's still gonna like run off and have his little adventures. And he's probably going to run back to the Widow Douglas for a warm bed once in a while, but he's not going to
for a monetary handout.
The issue with the film, I think I was talking to Nat about this the other day as well. It's the fact that it feels like mini scenes and not a collective.
Yeah.
Like,
it jumps around.
Story.
Too much.
It's not like, there's like, oh, we're doing this part of the film. It very much feels like chapters in books.
Yeah.
I've done this little bit now. I'm going to, like, episodic kind of thing. It feels like it should be a TV show of like 30-minute episodes to showcase this story.
Well, and I think too, there's these little, jaunts that he goes off on. And I think the grounding part of the story is his friendship with Jim. Learning that Jim is, his own person and deserves his own life and not to be a slave. Like, in these little like jaunts off where we get to learn about Southern people are so crazy, Jim is always taken off somewhere else. Whenever he's at the place, I can't remember the family's name that's having the feud, but he's like put back into the fields working in that one. And then whenever we meet the king and the duke, who are these other hucksters that are trying to get money from this dead man's family, Jim is in a jail cell the whole time. And I think that's really lacking in this, that I wanted more of Huck and Jim.
Yeah, their relationship. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you could have learned those things without getting into wacky adventures.
Yeah, I agree.
But I guess as a kid's film, that's what, like, kids are going to want.
Look at the funny British accents that we can do.
Oh, God, yeah.
So Huck Finn comes across at this point in the film, I was already like, I was out
when they missed their turning on the river, because they said like, oh, it was 50 miles back. They missed it in the mist, funnily enough. But I was like, it is misty and you've got to turn off of a river, would you not stay over that side of the river? Like, why have you gone 40 miles out of your way? No, if it's as serious as all of this, like, Jim's obviously like on the run from the law and stuff like that, you're doing everything by precision to get where you need to get.
To try and get to where you need to go, yeah. So so I'm checked out at that point, and this now introduced 2 brand new characters, Robbie Coltrane and I can't remember what's his friend called.
The Duke and the King.
The Duke and the King.
What's Duke and the King? Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they come across them, and I thought they were going to be friendly, but straight away they're like, pointing fingers. We're going to
frame some family,
turn you in, frame you up. And I was like, okay,
it's very clear. They're just waiting for a chance to turn Jim in for the money once they find out that he's...
Yeah, he's on the run, yeah. And then with that, they meet up. I kind of clocked out and was not really knowing what was going on.
Did you fall asleep?
Because they were just talking. No, I didn't fall asleep on this one. I think I was just watching it, not really. Because again, I watched it via my phone connected to TV, so I couldn't like look at my phone and do something. I
had to
full
be
attention on this film.
Transfixed.
Yeah, but yeah, so they come across, they go meet that family and they have to pretend to be British, like British cousins
to get
or something.
the inheritance from the dead dad.
Yeah. And I was like, where is this storyline coming from? Why are we doing this? I was like, why can't we just end the movie now? It's like, and you had this extra like 30 minutes of segment about this whole getting the money and like, oh, it's buried in the back somewhere.
It's in the barn, they open up a chest.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we don't just want the
like...
money, we now want the deeds to the house as well. Like, it's not enough to scam the daughters out of just the gold. They also want all the real estate to go with it, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So they come into town, but somebody recognizes them. And they're like, wait, I know you. And then a la Enduring Love, some other random guy just stabs that guy in the chest. And then...
Yeah.
That's the only bit I enjoyed. I found that quite funny. I was like, oh, that was silly enough that I liked that. Yeah. It's like, welcome to America. What did you rate their British accents? Did you think they were pretty good?
Maybe went to like the Dick Van Dyke School of English accents.
They did.
I mean, it does sound a little bit the way you guys sound to me.
Hello, boy.
No difference.
Is that how we sound? I did like the bit when the other British people confront them, and he's like, he's not even got a good British accent like I have, and I was like, brilliant.
So, I think we all have a lot of critiques of this. Was there any way that this was salvageable, do you think? Do you think this could have been a better film or a better story?
This could have been a better story if Huck was more likable, in my opinion, and if he was a better friend to Jim. Like, there's a scene where he sees like whip marks on Jim's back, and I don't know if they're like historical whip marks or they're like just happened. I wasn't too sure on that. But he's obviously in physical pain with them. And then Huck starts crying, and it's Jim that kind of consoles him, even though he's the one that's in pain. Like, but
that's true.
I just feel like Huck wasn't... he had no empathy, really.
No.
I know he's young, and, like, you could say, oh, he doesn't understand, like, the actual, like, the grandeur of the issue sort of thing. But I feel like in a story that was meant to be based along two people's relationship, the relationship to me wasn't there. It wasn't enough.
No. Like, because we're supposed to see through Huck's eyes, aren't we? It's his story. So we're supposed to be empathizing as well. And then when we empathize, that's when Huck should
But he
be
wasn't,
empathizing. Not that we're not empathizing anyway, but, like, it should straight on from the get-go, like, yeah.
He comes around on, like, he definitely, after he sees the whip marks on Jim, he realizes, oh, there's more than me having a nice cush life than him, staying in slavery. So we have to fix that. Although, like, he conveniently, then the
Everyone
family,
else dies.
yeah, and the family he's
like
living with goes into war with another family, and he doesn't have to really worry about that. But he does, I think he comes to a moral conclusion with the daughters of that guy who died. Like, he decides, oh, it's wrong to fool them.
Yeah.
But I kind of wondered while watching this if the relationship with Jim and Huck, which I think is pretty universally thought of as the grounding force of this story, if maybe we've put that into it, and maybe the real intent from Mark Twain originally was to just have these little, like, road trip side stories where Huck gets a little taste of things to learn, his lessons on some things but not others towards the end. I don't know. Like, it made me wonder.
Maybe.
It kind of made me think near the end that, because when they're both running away and they're almost there, but then Huck Finn gets shot, I thought... And obviously then Jim comes back, I'm not leaving you, kind of thing. But I don't know, it's like Jim's doing all the work again, and it's not Huck coming back to sort of sop or whatever. He's just like laying there. I thought they were going to kill off Huck Finn.
I did too. I was like, did that happen?
oh, they're going to kill him.
That's
did this happen? And then obviously how it changes with the.
And then he wakes up in like
Return
of the King style, like Frodo waking up in the bed and being like, "And you were there, and you were there."
Yeah, I did get a lot of like Frodo.
His costume is very Frodo, and then he
it's very hoppity, isn't it?
Yeah, the pipe.
I did get a lot of like Peter Jackson must have been like, yeah, he's
audition.
Does he still have that outfit from Huck Finn? Okay,
6 years from now. And he's like, oh damn it, you got a bit taller. What are we gonna do? He's like, oh, we've got the technology.
Forced perspective.
Yeah, go stand over there.
So let's get to our wrap up of the film. Who were people's favorite and least favorite characters? Dave?
Oh, okay, least favorite is Huck Finn. Just because he's just awful throughout. And I liked, he's like the guy who says, "Welcome to America," that guy.
Oh, that was the mayor, that was like the mayor of the town.
I liked him. So he was just very happy. He had a very smiley face. So I was like, yeah, he's quite funny. He's approachable.
Nat, how about you?
Worst character, Huck Finn. I agree with Dave. He just was unlikable the whole movie, and even after he was supposed to have learned his lesson, he didn't learn it enough for me. My favourite character was the Widow Douglas, because I just feel like she went out of her way to try and help, and I feel like it was always just thrown back in her face, and we can all relate to that.
I thought the Frances Conroy, credited as like Shanty Woman, was my least favorite, just because she was like so dumb, and then she wasn't dumb. Like then without any warning, she was like, "Oh, you are a boy." Like it was just dumb. Like I didn't need that whole detour. It was added nothing. Mm-hmm. My favorite character or characters were the King and the Duke, and I could have done a whole story of just them traveling up and down the Mississippi River doing all of these con games on people.
Yeah.
And yeah, their accents are bad, but it's also a reflection of how dumb the people that they're trying to get one over on. And like of note, they get the worst outcome ever. And again, it's very Disneyfied, where they're covered in tar at the end, which like in real life, like pulled your flesh off of your body. Like it was so like damaging, and they're just like driven off in a horse and cart covered in tar. Yuck, yuck, yuck.
Nickelodeon award like slime treatment. That's like the Disney-fied version of it.
With some jolly music.
Yeah.
It's like,
this is how you feel about this.
Future style. Yeah.
I would say though, a special sort of nomination of favorite character would actually be the Ron Perlman character, because I know he's like a terrible person in it, but he plays it really well. Like I think he always gets that, like, I don't know if it's just like the look that he's got, but it does sell it as like he's this mean like baddie.
He's such a good actor, and he's like relegated to these like character roles all the time.
Yeah, but he's so good at them.
Yeah. What I wanted to mention this when we were discussing it before. He did have a lead role in the show in the 90s called Beauty and the Beast, where he played,
I used to watch that.
I had friends who were so obsessed with it. But again, it was Ron Perlman in a costume.
Uh-huh.
Justice for Ron Perlman. Ron Perlman, I need to see an Oscar out of him in the next 10 years.
I like when he's like got Elijah Wood over his shoulders, he's like, "Say goodbye to the old crows."
Going down the stairs, he's like pushing him.
Going down the stairs, yeah.
That's where it felt like a Pete's Dragon villain.
Yeah.
Like these like live action Disney films that have these like despicable characters, but they're kind of goofy. How about best scenes? Did people have a favorite scene in this?
Yeah, I put the credits at the end.
Dave?
I don't think I've got a favourite scene, no.
Can you the credits?
I liked the bit where, the bit, I said it already, I think, where those people get shot when he's like, "I know you," and he stabs him, and he's like, "Welcome to America."
No, I think I would actually have to pick the bit where Billy gets run down in the river by the guys on horses.
There's a bunch
of really
what
strange.
is this?
There's a bunch of strange slow-mo use in that scene.
Yeah.
Like Billy gets killed in slow-mo and the horses in the water in slow-mo.
It was very cinematic. It was really out of place, I felt like, to the rest of it.
For a character we really didn't care that much about.
Yeah.
Or we didn't know much
Just
about
found
their
out about
feud,
them.
and it was silly. I picked the boat sinking scene where they were in that, like, the pirate ship. I thought that was done kind of well with the water suddenly rushing in, and
Yeah.
if I had to pick a scene that I enjoyed
It was just
the
a bit
most.
random, though. I still don't understand that whole scene fully.
No,
Was
No
it just
one
so they
does.
could get a better raft?
maybe that raft. The raft looked like a Disney ride. Like it looked like it was made for something to ride across a river on a Disneyland attraction. We're moving on to rating Elijah Wood's specific performance in this film. How about you, Nat, first?
I gave him a 2. I can't remember what I gave him in Forever Young or whatever it was called, but I feel like a 2 is... His performance probably isn't as bad as a 2, but I just hate the character of Huck Finn so much that I couldn't give him more than a 2.
How about you, Dave?
He played a character. He was very loud, obnoxious, not caring. He kind of, I think, given a bit more direction, he could have been a bit better. So yeah, I'm agreeing with Nat. Really, yeah, probably at a 2.5, but probably sticking at a 2.
I rated him on a scale of how he did the job. And for a live-action Disney film, I thought he did a child in a live-action Disney film style well. And so I gave him a 3.
Nice.
Like, I didn't think he was especially
His voiceover was good.
His what? Oh, yeah.
His voiceover, he's like, it's going to be a top digging time.
Kick off your
It's all like,
shoes.
kick off your shoes and go for a run. Hee-yaw. And I was like, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Whatever he says at the end, too, like, I didn't learn my lesson.
Yeah, exactly.
Screw them.
We know
See
it.
you later.
So with that, let's give the film our final ratings.
Okay, so overall, I think in terms of production value, really well done. I feel like the set design, everything was great. I just think the tone it was trying to set could have been. I didn't think it knew where it was, so for that reason, I'm probably going to give it a 2.
Nat?
I also gave it a 2. I feel like we're pretty much on the same level with this. Yeah, tonally, I don't think it knew where it wanted to be, whether it was going to be like a fully fledged Disney kids movie or it wanted to like delve into like the deeper themes of it. I felt like it flitted too much in like opposite ends of the spectrum. Like there are so many big names in it, like you say, like I feel like I should have enjoyed it more, but there was just something about it that was so jarring.
I'm going to fully agree with both of you, and I'm also going to give this a 2.
Way 2s across the board.
Hey.
The movie felt so long. It was only an hour and 40 minutes, but it felt so long. It just dragged. And it made me reevaluate, like, why is this considered a great American novel? And so now I'm probably going to have to, like, look into more about the book and see if it was just a really bad adaptation of it.
Yeah.
But I do have on my list to read James, so I'll report back after I've read that if that sort of enhances the story at all.
See if it is a better version.
Yeah. So I think with that, we're going to say goodbye for this episode, and thanks for listening.
Goodbye for me. It's Dave.
Goodbye, y'all.
You can tell they sound
You
just
got
like
to do the
me.
British one.
We've got to rate our American accents.
Oi, boy for me, Danielle.